We're talking about what? Wiggly squiggly?
Yeah.
Bibbity
Bibbity
bobbity?
bobbity. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say swiggity swooty.
Yeah.
With the GPK is coming for that booty.
Yeah.
All right, swiggity swooty. All right, I don't know what to do with that one, but I'm sure Moxie and Purge will be able to take this one. Take it away.
Well, those are the technical terms of bibbity bobbity boo, swiggity fee, and all these wonderful other things. I'm really interested to hear what your official technical terms and phrases would towards what we're seeing with the draft.
For battle.
I don't know if I have any good. That's what I was thinking. The Extreme drafts definitely kind of interesting. They're falling back on heroes, at least the Bloodseeker, that aren't super proven, but it's a Rupture against Saw is very good. Having Silence against Shadow Shaman is a good matchup, and like Seagov said, if they can do good in the lane, an okay place in the mid, but there's scary stuff. Coil against Storm Spirit with correct roaming, like if he gets ultied and Shadow Shaman follows up, like Storm's gonna die very often. So, I don't know, maybe Nyx Assassin is the other X factor as well. Move around, help Storm stay alive, maybe get. There's lots of potential. Get Extreme. DP's super clean so far. They consistently do their 2-0s and they look fabulous every time. It's going to be a tough game for Extreme.
30 seconds to battle.
I definitely think that looking at the draft lineup that they have coming out from side of BB, it feels like it's going to be similar to, the game that we just saw yesterday, actually. Well, where they know their item timing and then once it's go time, they just start popping off. Granted, though, then you have some going on. They do need to lanes. Definitely. For sure, there's hope there.
The battle begins.
Especially when you consider that yesterday was the very bottom of upper.
See how the lanes Nyx slightly different win lace with extra reach compared to the boot, so show us that he wants to fight a little bit more. Maybe that's the aggressiveness that Cap was looking for, of course, but if you have more regens, you need fighting often.
Are you also concerned about the fact, I like the fact that they Storm just because it does give you that mid. But I am concerned about their lack of damage. Like, they don't have the type of supports that really, satisfy the ganking out a lot of time.
Yeah, Coddle's damage is certainly
Dire's top
not
tower
as great
is under
gank,
attack.
but Nyx Assassin still a lot there. So, I think Storm does provide them enough damage generally. Like, if you pair Storm with one of the other cores plus the support, I think you should be able to kill heroes. The only one that's a bit iffy is going to be
Dire's
Timbersaw
bottom
on the
tower
surface.
is under attack.
I think they have some options here. And as the game gets really late, Bloodseeker, not the most traditional carry, but you could buy a shard that does pure damage based on their health. That'd be really effective against Timbersaw, very effective against high HP Wraith Kings. So they have some options. They could itemize a little different. I would love to see Extreme win this early game just to see if they do itemization-wise and see how they pressure. Got to win those lanes first before we start talking about what items are going to save your game.
Again, talking back about, the fact they are going to get pretty chunky.
Yeah.
And again, it's pretty quiet for the most part. Haven't been seeing a lot of early winner kills in a lot of these CIS games. It's actually, we've seen more aggression coming out in the EU.
Yeah, not always the lane. Like, usually they'll stabilize their lane, go ganking, but we'll probably see something. Fight again. Shaman trying to stack the small camp and time saves the body block that, but pull didn't quite work out. So nobody lost there. A little normal stuff. I think the top lane a lot like
There's a lot of poking back and forth, but there's no real hard committal on this again. We normally see that aggression come out until around maybe, around the 4-minute mark when we start to see the action runes come out, or of course, the 5-minute mark. Definitely a rotation towards that mid lane to try to get.
I'm curious if Timber's going to pressure against Bucker. A lot of Timbers will go for a Orb of Venom, guaranteeing those range creeps and destroyed by Coddle, so it's very easy for them to splash hit. 16 so far on Bloodseeker. But once Timber gets another level or two, he should be pretty much survivable in this lane and not have to worry about much at all. I go on Bloodseeker.
Not yours! Poking back and forth. Don't look too concerned. I get something off over on Nefrit, Bloodright Connect. And it's just Timber doing Timber things, honestly.
Now he's got 2 points. Yeah, sure, he's going to take magic damage. Storm getting zoned out of mid lane. Walking back to his bottle, did that a little bit quicker. But he's sitting 17-2, Puck at 5, so they're right out of regen top lane active. He hasn't got any points in Kraken Shell yet. He wanted to have Gush to be able to harass and deal with Wraith King a bit. Walking over. But this is kind of cool. He spawns skeletons and throws his stun at Nyx. What this does is it aggroes the skeleton on him and basically makes any movements he does spotted. So that was kind of a weird little move, but kind of an effective way to spend some mana. It's not like you really need Red Bar Blast that bad. And skeleton just follows Nyx around and makes his so obvious. So.
Top lane, now that they know the Nyx isn't here, they'll try to put a little bit more damage to Tashlo, but not gonna have it just yet. 4-minute runes are spawning, and it's kind of, you kind of know what they're doing though, right? You know that if Ju's leaving the lane, that he's gonna trying to cure a attack. The rune is bottom. They take down the courier, poor save.
We got something out of it. And Tide has picked up his Morbid, by the way, so this is supposed to give him lane stability basically, because but kind of a cool itemization from Lightstone. Basically give him really good pressure against Tide. If Tide had Kraken Shell, this wouldn't mean nearly as much, but it's a nice way to offset what Tide was trying to do. I'm gonna run back to base and go heal. Not very normal for offlaners to do this. I heard him in the last hits about 18-4 versus the 4, 25-10. Not a bad start for Wraith King in the slightest.
See that Dave had already rotated over. They got the signs off the shackles. They need to do a little bit more damage. And I'm pretty sure that GPK will still be able to find attack. They actually forced the teleport over to the lane too. So feeling very happy about the Figures as Tashlo. And the top lane is taking a decent chunk of damage. But
Radiant's middle tower is
can't
under
do
attack.
too much about it as the runes are up. The bounties are getting taken. They're just programming the fight.
It's a tough moment. Level 5 getting ganked is pretty. On the bright side, G did some great stacks there. He's got a double or a triple stack of large stamp, a double of medium. Storm should be able to clean those up, pick up a 6 safely. Puck is about to hit 6, and that's where things get scary. Any rotations, he gets ganked. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some shifts and go to.
They did manage to get a courier snipe over here in the top lane. Nightfall's courier is going to not be able to deliver things to him for a bit. Over here, nice and pale coming out from 2. Less a spike, Carapace buys a little bit more time. This Tidehunter, though, will get taken down by Kingslayer thanks to those Purifying Flames.
Way too much magic damage. Well, this is usually why, because when I play Tide, I mean, it's cool to have the lifesteal and all, but like, he's got no raw HP over what he normally would have. It's a little, like, I get that if he spawns skeletons, you're getting a lot of extra lifesteal, but if he just doesn't spawn skeletons, your damage is a bit low. A little greedy, in my opinion, to go for this Morbid Master without at least getting like a bracer or something. So gets punished by it, just way too much damage coming from Oracle, and the rain drop wasn't enough to offset it.
There's a Shadow Shaman because he's been wandering around over in the there. Definitely be able to spot out that they have plenty of stacks. People that can take advantage of them. Bro, but another over here, hoping that someone's going to show up and they can get another gank off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Interestingly, the Bloodseeker
Dire structures are
going for more points of blood rage, just going to allow jump a lot more. That Storm
getting all leashed up here. Save is here. Gonna get dragged back. Might actually go down to tower. Yes, they managed to find that kill. Now GPK forced to leave. His rotation has made it a very nice counter gank to what they wanted to do.
So crucially, if Shaman was like level 4 there, he gets the Hex off before something can pull off.
Illusion!
Scary.
Yeah, it's fine. It was calculated. Fully calculated.
It would have been tough even if Silence would have gotten him low, but not quite low enough. That would.
That's illusion, dude.
Yeah, but by all means, but Storm would have probably just falled away. It's a little bit hairy, but anyways, these stacks are pretty nice for Bloodseeker with the build here. He's a little bit more effective at. If you look at his net worth especially, he's actually not that far behind Timber, only by 400. If these were just regular camps, this would be a much different story. But G's gonna try to defend the safe lane now. With Blast is what Coddle does best here.
Oh, they
even though Timber can, yeah, they can still.
It's like he's just backing off completely now. Yeah, the ward's spotting out
Radiant's
the
bottom
rotation.
tower is under attack.
It's definitely not safe for Coddle down there, especially with Kingslayer making his.
Dire's
can
middle
get over
tower
here, though.
is under
He
attack.
doesn't have a Quelling Blade, so unfortunately
Radiant's
the
bottom
tower's gonna
tower
come.
is under attack.
But all you need to do is put a good Illuminate into the wave, and you're in a much better spot here. Looking for him. Here comes a little bit of a greedy Illuminate, but that should clear things out. And, most of the tower damage is going to be gone. No Shadow Shaman, obviously, so they can't just power this down with the tank. So, and now they're rotating over. They've got got Rupture on Bloodseeker, so certainly if Timber gets a little bit crazy, they can go on him. And with Nyx Coddle damage, maybe it'll be enough to get a kill, but it's going to be hard with these.
I mean, that was the big question mark. Coddle's not really great at, putting damage early on unless you get a very nice Illuminate. 2 will have some of that to contribute to the fight, but bottom lane they go. They throw out the Chakram. Bloodright connects. Illuminate comes out. Save does have to be a little bit careful. Q chasing him down over here on the side. Will be able to land the Pale, and now Save walking away.
And then Pale might look weird, but Shadow Shaman does not have Tranquil. Downside of going on the buff rotation though. They'll be fine. They get a kill, but ulti for a level 4 Nyx Assassin, absolutely fine. Especially if can defend this. He's got an Illuminate ready to go. He's going to start channeling. So if he just blasts this wave, this rotation feels kind of bad for Virtus Pro, honestly. But maybe they have enough heroes now to power down the tower.
I think they have plenty now before, yeah. In fact, she has to be very careful because if Shadow Shaman is making his way over here, handle that up. We're seeing another rotation though. The teleports are coming down to the bottom lane. It's Q again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got a friend coming in here with them. So there's a lot of heroes that are spending time in the bottom lane and they haven't been able to take this tower just yet.
Yeah, and that's if they did choose to fight, it would have been pretty good there for Extre, but Pro recognize how dangerous they had wards spotting both rune spots. Yeah, so very likely they saw Storm pick up the Arcane rune, and that's most likely why they retreated. Not sure if they saw his TP here. Definitely scary to defend against.
Bounty!
Well, Storm not going to be lucky this time around. The Regeneration gets hit by Puck over here, so very happy. He'll farm up this down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The lineup.
Frail Jelly was picked up on really good this game, in my opinion. I think it's excellent on Bloodseeker. You spend quite a bit of mana spamming Blood Rage to farm, and the extra regen helps. And obviously, it's amazing on Storm as well. And he got Fairy Strength. Storm is pretty much in like the best possible circumstance.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But generally, the game's pretty close. Only 1k advantage for Virtus Pro. Tide's been basically off doing his own thing ever since he got that death pop. He's picked up a hood to solve this like magic nuke issue. And now he's going back for Arcane Boots. Still not sure where he's going to go itemization. He's got to worry about the gear damage. But at least he got a pretty safe.
Denied! I feel like this is what he always does, though, right? Is that, the other team starts to pull away a little bit. They start to do some really moves. In fact, they're going to go for a jump here over on EM. They don't have the Oracles here as well. The silence comes out. The follow-up with the nuke. Mellow Jewel realizing in the back will be able to join up with Q. They'll finally kill on King. On Kingslayer here, they'll go back in. Chakram buying a little bit more time. Save joining in. The Ravage gets committed. It will connect over onto the Timber Club, but Save, he teleported in just to his death. The middle tower does go down. They do manage to go and use those Serpent wards meanwhile.
Radiant structures are
Great maneuver there
fortified.
by VP. It's like they took so much time to defend that. And yeah, Extremum gets the support kills, but they drop Serpent wards and then TP the Shaman. So even though Shaman dies, they still get a massive tactical advantage out of this. And Ravage was used and barely caught the Timber. Great maneuver by VP. 3k advantage now, and that's rotation. Bloodseeker's Rupture use. They're gonna have to go back to farming now temporarily, but it's not boding super well. Didn't get the tower, got support kills, lost their tower. Not good. And Wraith King's been very close to his rep.
But like I said, it always feels like Virtus Pro, they play their own game. Start to see, making these moves, they start to put the pressure down, but it always feels like there's like one very special item or something, whether it's picked up on, DK or on their core, like Nightfall, like there's just something in particular, and then once they get that item, it's full on go time.
Radiant are
Yeah, their lineup's definitely really fighting early. Everybody on the VP lineup is that mitigated by not having farms. So if you get like a Radiance on Wraith King and everyone else is still semi-close to the enemy team, yeah, they're absolutely going to be a fight. Whereas on the Extreme side, they're also matching pace decently well. Like Bloodseeker's going to have Maelstrom. Storm's going to have Orchid very shortly. About 500 gold away from it. So they have some options. 6, so pair Storm plus Nyx, they got kills, especially when Orchid comes.
little bit of reconnaissance, and they find themselves a kill.
You might wish to retract your
They can get a
last
response,
move.
but there's the sentry. See this coming.
They trying to juke around. Puck diving away here. They drop the Dream Coil. Do they have the damage? Yes, they'll go. They'll drop down the board. And then they actually go turn it right back around on Fellow 2. And they find another kill on 2. Beautifully done between K. Support thing there.
So good. The sentry, knowing that their opponents are going to be following them, that if Nick's at all playing in the area, they were going to spot him, and then getting the coil on Storm just shut the whole thing down. The stun missing was really the big part. Stun missed. I also like that Shaman didn't turn in Hex right away. He kind of pretended like he didn't see that the disable was coming, so he just kept running, and as a result, let the hit him like normal, but instantly juke. Most players are not going to anticipate that if they don't have vision, so he basically was able to bait his opponents. Watch how he just keeps moving, making his opponent think that they don't know he's there, and then he instantly jukes, and because stun got juked, basically, he gets the Hex to Storm, he gets to drop his ulti, and then the DD that was still on the puck allows him to clean up super. So, such a crucial play. Like, they turned a gank into a gank on 2 more heroes. It was extremely powerful.
It just felt like they also saw it coming too, right? Because they were carrying that sentry, and they're like, all right, we've killed Coil. Someone else has got to be showing up here, right? They're gonna think that, you know, we're easy picks. I just love that. I love to see this play.
So that's going to give them even more control down in the bot lane of the map. So that's why they keep Puck here, Shadow Shaman. They have a huge disable between these 2 guys. Hex is also maxed out at this point, and he's got an
Dire's
Aether
middle
Lens. So
tower is under
Storm
attack.
even if he has Orchid, if he doesn't silence the Shadow Shaman, he's going to be... Still doesn't have it. He's short by 100 gold. That's really costing him like a minute or 2 on his Orchid timing that then would have given his team easier options for kills.
It's actually so interesting. They're actually on Extremum as they play down at the bottom, but they will rotate here now to the top.
For the twins.
Protecting battles. Pose. Should have Orchid on his way here.
A little nervous if I was Melody. We saw what they did before. Granted, they did use the Serpent words, right? So, does have the Orchid online
They're
now.
back.
Just has to be careful.
He definitely dies if he gets caught by these 2. Arcane with Veil of Discord. Doesn't have treads yet either, so his raw HP is a little bit lower than normal. But he's just going to be in the area that way if Nyx can grab the pings. He knows where it is. But unfortunately for them, Repeat spots this out. And that was ulti's on. Still playing here. Sentry goes down. Ooh, this is tough actually.
Is he gonna try to go for it?
Might get the ward actually. That was so lucky that the sentry spotted it.
Sashla taking a decent amount of damage here from DM. It looks like they're thinking about making plays, but
Radiant's
again, the
bottom
back
tower
off. And it just
is
feels
under
right now
attack.
like Extreme, they're
Dire
feeling a
are
bit
scanning.
skittish. They don't know. Like, it felt like in the bottom lane too, and Melodra, they wanted to make something happen, but then they got a little spooked out. And now, you know, you can see Nightfall. He's got the Radiance online.
Yeah, he does. So they're gonna VP's tempo is definitely gonna go up. Because they control the bot lane so well, now they're gonna press
Radiant's
the
bottom tower is
drop
under
on wards of
attack.
this. I don't think Extremum wants to fight until they get BKB on
Dire's
Bloodseeker
top
at
tower
least.
is under
Like
attack.
they're just now feeling comfortable taking
Dire's structures are fortified.
the disadvantage that they
Radiant's
have
bottom
with
tower
the timing
is
that
under
means.
attack. Radiant structures
More
are
committed
fortified.
down to the bottom lane. They've used
Dire's
the
top
fortifications.
tower is
Sashla's making his way over. Does have the Ravage. Gonna make something happen, but the
Radiant's
tower goes down
bottom
and they're gonna immediately jump over here, follow up. Oh, look at that damage! Trying to buy a little bit more time. They'll use the dust over on the back lines here. Nightfall, Sashla, he doesn't want to Ravage the one here. In fact, he can't even get the Ravage off because he's already dead. They'll find you over in the tree line. And now the rest of Extreme are just running to the high ground.
Crucially, he did not use Ravage though, so even though it was kind of a weird play, I don't know, they're like fishing for a potential fight, but like they talked about in the draft, like a couple rounds of Timber stuff and Tide will die. And the only reason that was even close to him surviving was because Coddle's been able to farm a mech with all of these creeps that he's been killing in the bot lane. So counter to Timber Saw damage, you just need more raw health, mech accomplishes that, but weren't good opportunities to Ravage there. He Ravages, he hits primarily Erasing and a Timber Saw, and his team don't want to follow up yet. So they net worth disadvantage now. They lose Shrines before the 20-minute marks. The level disadvantage is going to be pretty severe, but at least they open up the map a little top. And bad.
Yeah, it's a really rough game too when you're a Tidehunter. It's pretty much the main source of big team fight energy coming out. Yeah, you know, you can have a Storm that goes and zips on in, that's nice, but you need to have the backup, you need to have the follow-up as well. So it just feels right now that they're kind of on the back heels, and the Storm hasn't been allowed to snowball the way that I like to.
He definitely wanted like 1 or 2 kills with the Orc Pit. So far, it's just been farming with this. But there weren't the best opportunities. They didn't commit enough heroes maybe to bottom. I maybe would have liked to see them do like a smoke hero perhaps. The downside is, again, the other support's like a Coddle, right? So maybe they moved Coddle over and tried to get a kill. But it probably would have gone about the same as it did when we saw help too much. And they didn't want to put Tide or Bloodseeker into these games because then if that fails, then you're not getting as much. Kind of just playing the passive, just like my passive route on their side. And once they get BKB.
Sasha, they spotted you with that nice ward over on the side. This is going to be a very dead Tidehunter. No one's going to be coming to save him with the tackles. They're, of course, the illusory orb, and Extre finishes up with that final. That ward doing a lot there.
Maybe a little crazy how far.
They know choose here. Where's the dust? You have dust. Save? Okay. All right.
Maybe they weren't watching. That was a little bit weird.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're a bigger fish to
Dire's
fry.
top tower is under attack.
It's a little hard. If they don't pop the dust like within like half a second or something, then it's not surprising.
Well, looks like they found themselves a bigger fish. Like we said, it is, of course, Neverett here. He's going to try to run away. They purge off the heal, and GPK finds the kill.
I guess he would have been ran down no matter what if he tried to not. Big kill. Bloodseeker rolled away.
It feels kind of bad. It feels like he hasn't been able to anticipate really anything going on. In fact, they go in to use the Serpent wards, and that's a quick pick off on 2. Or Keeper of the Light and Sasha, they can't really get in there. I mean, they could, but, you know, where's your damage? How are you going to do anything? You're going to take some wards.
They have that many dead heroes. There's no way. They almost have Blink Dagger on Tide, but he instantly up Solar Press. It kind of reveals a slightly different anticipation of where the game's going. Kind of like Solar on Tide here, because it will give him some raw HP against Timber, which is okay. And using Solar Crest on... Nope, they changed. They go for Pipe. He went for Pipe instead, so a little bit different. But I think that's alright against Puck and some of those. It'll help. It's not good against Timber, obviously, but it's not just Timber dealing damage. Rough game. Basically, VP got to do all the laning stuff that they wanted to. The Wraith King was more or less free farm. The Tide was more or less free farm, but so was Timbersaw. And then they just hit their timings earlier than Extreme. It's a lot more obvious, I guess, when you have a Timber and like.
Oh yeah, they definitely have been planning for that the late game. That I think Kyle always talks about that, right? You want to make sure that whatever items you picked up, they are going to allow you to scale.
The other thing also is that that was this point of the draft, they didn't really have very good tower pushers. So that's another disadvantage they had. Couldn't easily take the enemy to tier 1, even though they put a little bit of effort into it, but because that fight went badly, that was like their window. They had to use team fight to take the tower, but they didn't crush the team fight, so taking the tier 1 tower was just not possible anymore. And because VP could, VP just got another map control advantage, and that was part of the reason they...
A lot of people in the jungle here, friend. Careful, it does have DM staff him up though. Well, alright, there's gonna be the rupture over on DM, so he's pretty tanky though. I don't think he minds too much. He's now Sasha and just too far away from the rest of the team. The Ravage will come out. They're hoping maybe they can get the kill over here onto his fort, but they're not gonna be able to find it over on the back line. DM fighting, it's just going through. Trying to run away here from Neverett. He's taking a lot of time. They're not actually able to kill him. In fact, Neverett, he's DKB'd. He's gonna have to just teleport out here as GPK Nightfall finding the kill on 2. They turn back around to Sasha. He's already used that Ravage. Down, he will fall. That was all
right there.
My goodness. And just right into the Roche pit. In typical VP fashion, they just take these objectives and immediately go for another one.
I think the perfect demonstration of how that fight went was Bloodseeker popped BKB and he slapped Timber, but it just didn't matter at all. Ravage was okay, it hit the Oracle in the back, but Storm must have been somewhere else. Was not able to kill the Oracle, and everybody just kind of got picked off. Bloodseeker just does not feel as effective here as Wraith King. Yeah, he stabilizes lane well, he jungles well to get decent net worth, but like the hero just feels hard to teamfight with until you get a BKB. If your opponents have like any teamfight at all.
I think also the thing where are their stuns, right? Stuns, just any sort of lockdown would be just so nice, especially, you know, trying
Radiant's
to get to
top
these
tower
backlines,
is
trying to
under
do a
attack.
team player. And yes, you know, you have the Wolf and Storm, you've got, you know, the Nyx, but there's only so much that these two guys can do on their own. They have to go through a lot of things in order to get to the back end of the player.
Radiant's top
Some
tower
way Shaman
has
kind
fallen.
of acts like Oracle. It's like you, as long as he doesn't get disabled, he's going to save whoever the enemy team does go on. He'll drop the Hex. Just from hoping something
Radiant's
bottom.
top
It
tower
doesn't
is under
DPK,
attack.
but a Yule's.
Dire's bottom tower
They'll
is under
invade a little.
attack.
At least right click is pretty solid, but Hellstrom does not compete with what Red Kings do. They're the gun down. Keep trying to close this game out.
Found the opening. Nefrit's getting recalled. It looks like they'll go, and they'll just have to be happy with taking down. But that's one scout no longer on the map. Successful. Mo coming out.
Not really sure. It's hard. They have to win a fight, obviously, but I don't really feel like Tide's items really do that much outside the pipe. The pipe was kind of good, but like, the pipe is not close enough. BKB gets used on Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he had to run away there, and now we've got our own BKB over on Nightfall.
Radiant
Actually, he's being backline, but I just feel like, and again, some of this comes down to the itemization as well, but hold that thought, Sashlo is just going to get held in place. He's trying to taunt his way out of this, but he is going to get taken down. That's going to be some more bones over here for Nightfall, if they end up winning this match. Always a good feeling. But the pressure is on now here for the tier 2, and I don't know what Extreme really does here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Not looking good. Got Ravage on 5, comes back up. He does have buyback here. Fires.
Radiant structures
Everybody's hitting
are
buildings.
fortified. Radiant's
Push up
middle tower
fortification.
is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, it's 25 minutes up. In fact, GPK runs right into Nefrit here. The pings are coming out. The more time waiting, Rift will silence him as the rest of the team. Oh, the Dream Coil does not connect. A little bit off there from GPK, but you know what? The rest of the team is on their way. Can they get the damage off on him in time? No, they're not going to be able to. He's going to get recalled safely to the loving arms of G. He says, don't go over there. That's safe.
He's playing pretty safe for Bloodseeker being there. But I think he's worried about maybe Storm showing up as well. Storm was there. It definitely could have been. Oh, he got the
flamethrower, yep.
All right, so I looked at the numbers here. This actually can do an insane amount of damage. The layers for 3 seconds, so it's like it could last for like 10 seconds on somebody with 900 magic. That's a lot.
That is.
Not very good against Tide because he's got a pipe, I guess. But it also slows people by 30. Maybe he's just buying it because he's ahead and he's like, I want more damage, more easy damage. Like rather than buying Ags to get more Chakram damage, just buy the shard, you know. Creep waves with it. It probably costs a lot less to clear creep wave than use 100 mana. What? Never mind. I thought he was gonna flamethrower there.
Now
he will
is.
do it. He could have just used that by itself instead of using the. Yeah,
He
you can
could
clear waves a lot.
It's way more fun to Timber Purge, you know, without all over the place. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, as everybody.
Fire.
It's funny though, because it doesn't burn down the tree. He is Timber. But the Hex is out over here in the mid lane. Big crits coming out here from Nightfall. He's going up to like they have been here. Kingslayer will get saved up by his own ultimate as Melody. He's already buffed the BKB. He's forced to teleport out. They will be able to finally take down 2. Now they're on the hunt. They're hoping maybe they can grab Sashlo here. Okay, looking for the opening. He's gonna jump forward, finds himself a Keeper of the Light. As the Hex comes up, they drop the wards right in front of the base over here. And they'll get the kill on Sashlo.
Ward trap on Tide is actually a great counter. Disables are gonna get removed from Kraken Shell, but now his way to get out, it's like he's got cogs. You have to hit twice to escape, so makes it a little useful. But yeah, the Extremum's just showing how far behind they are. They committed Storm to jump in to try to kill the Oracle, but he couldn't get him. Oracle didn't die in the burst. He gets False Promise off, and good luck. He might have even misspelled the silence or something. Because I'm surprised he didn't die to Orchid. Maybe he channeled Force and Send on himself, millions to go on him.
That's possible.
Seen that play.
Looks like they'll turn their attention now to the top. Dreamum's just gonna have to kick back a little bit in the base. They are coming forward though. Have a couple smokes going, hoping maybe they can get the wrap around. Be able to stun up Nightfall. Nefrit coming forward. Sashlo getting into position. They need to be careful though. Try to just put down Sashlo before he can get that Ravage off. here on the round. We'll walk into G, throws out the hex immediately. Nightfall running forward. Nice win here coming out from Puck. Will be able to use the Dream Coil as well. BKB comes out, but Nightfall doesn't care about that. He's doing so much damage. The snap comes out. GPK gets the kill over onto G. Now they just keep focusing down over here on the Storm. Take down Q, Sashlo got the Rupture Ravage off, but it doesn't do much of anything. As Extremum just gives up, they throw in the towel and call the GG.
That was the insane desperate move of a team that has very low chances of winning, but certainly the best way to do it is not